Breaking news: Senate moves to reopen the government. So, 8 senators have cited and voted along with Republicans to end debates in the Senate and vote for the final continuing resolution to reopen the government without any assurances of uh, an ACA, Affordable Care extension by the Republican Party as a whole. So the funding of the government will be until January 30th, with promises in the Senate that there would be an ACA extension in December. But there's nothing on paper. No commitment by the House that they will also do the same. Mike Johnson actually said that he's not making any promises about making an Affordable Care Act deal. So 8 Senate Democrats bent the knee and gave up the fight to keep Americans from suffering even more with the shutdown, layoffs, and pause of SNAP. So it was that the Democratic Party and anybody with a heart was stuck between a rock and a hard place. But if you are playing hardball in the Senate, then if you are playing for the rights of the American people and for the well-being of the American people, you need some integrity and grit. Like, say, Jon Ossoff of Georgia, who is the most vulnerable Democrat senator, but he voted no on this bill because it does not advance the cause of the people. It does not guarantee health care that American people deserve. Senator Sanders put out a statement, a video that said this is a very bad vote. It raises healthcare premiums of over 20 million Americans by doubling or tripling or quadrupling their premiums. People can't afford that. We're already paying the highest prices in the world for healthcare. And this paves the way for 15 million people to be thrown out of Medicaid. It will mean that 50,000 Americans would die a year unnecessarily because of these healthcare cuts. All of that was done to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%. The election on Tuesday showed us that the American people want us to stand up to Trumpism, to his war against working class people, to his authoritarianism. That is what the American people wanted. But tonight, that is not what happened. We have to go forward, do the best we can to protect working class people, to make sure the United States is not the only country that throws people off of healthcare, and end the absurdity of being the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee healthcare to all. To be honest with you, tonight was not a good night, Senator Sanders says. And here are some comments by the ones who caved. Senator Hassan says, "My vote was to do 2 things. Make sure the government is functioning, and 2, continue to fight to a realistic platform to get the premium tax credits done. If that is not successful, then shame on the Republican Party and shame on Donald Trump." Because Senator Hassan, shame works really well for this Republican Party and this president. We've seen how shame really gets them to do the right thing. I am, of course, being sarcastic. If the only thing you walk out with is a promise to get premium tax cut deals done in December with nothing in writing, then the only thing you are leaving with is shaming Republicans and Donald Trump. We know that that's not going to work. And Senator Angus King says the Democrats caved because it wasn't working. I'm sorry, Senator King, but I don't think you paid attention to the elections that happened last week. The American people want us to fight. The American people, we want you to fight. We want you to make sure that all Americans have affordable health care. We want you to stand and hold the line instead of cave thinking it wasn't working. It was working. That's what Tuesday's election showed us. Senator Shaheen says, when I talk to my constituents in New Hampshire, you know what they say to me? They say, why can't you all just work together to address the problems that are facing this country? Senator Shaheen, you should be asking that question to every Republican senator, and you should direct your constituents to talk to every single Republican senator and congressperson in their state about why they can't work together to solve problems together. Because today is an instance of where the Republicans didn't budge even a little bit on behalf of the American people, and the Democrats caved on the basis of some aloof promise to get tax credits for Affordable Care Act in December, when Mike Johnson has made it clear that he makes no such promises. Prominent lawyer Qasim Rashid says, vote out Schumer, Gillibrand, and every establishment corporate-funded Democrat. They have failed us repeatedly and have no idea how to lead. The Democratic Party will either die or transform into new leadership. It cannot survive in its current state. These 8 senators sold us out to Trump. Senator Hassan, King, Cortez Masto, Shaheen, Kaine, Fetterman, Durbin, and Rosen. And I really would like to say, Senator Durbin, shame on you. I voted for you. I voted for you over and over again. And you caved? That is not leadership. Because you don't have to worry about being in the Senate. You don't have to worry about running another election. That's why you caved? That's unbecoming of the position that you hold. Understand this fact. Chuck Schumer is behind this. None of these 8 were up for re-election in 2026. Schumer asked them to vote yes. They agreed. He's such a coward that he folded and won't even own it. This is commentary from Qasim Rashid. Representative Ro Khanna says, Senator Schumer is no longer effective and should be replaced. If you can't lead the fight to stop healthcare premiums from skyrocketing for Americans, what will you fight for? So, we are seeing that Democrats are rising up to tell Democratic leadership that when we mean leadership, we mean that you stand up for our rights and you stand up for our well-being, especially when we show you what we are seeking in an election that has not even been a week, that it has resoundingly showed you what the American people want. Mike Johnson, when asked whether he will assure House Democrats that they'll get a vote on Affordable Care Act subsidies by a date certain, said, no, I'm not promising anyone anything. So I go back to the integrity of Senator Ossoff, who was up for election in the coming year, in November, and he voted no to end the debate and vote for the CR. And that is the kind of integrity and grit that we need in Democratic leadership. Senator Ossoff has showed more strength, courage, and leadership than Senator Schumer and other leaders of Congress, other leaders of the Senate. With that said, it is a dark day. We're going to have to move forward and push forward for healthcare subsidies in December. We're going to have to see how these senators act and behave and vote when it comes to Republicans not following through on their commitments that's not written down in paper and signed into law. With that said, thank you for listening. Keep your eyes out. listen to what's happening in Congress and pay attention and call your representatives and senators to let it be known that you are not happy about how the Senate voted today. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.